A lot has been made over the last couple of weeks and months about the school situation, the transfer situation, school choice, accredited schools, non-accredited schools, and Art McCoy, who was the superintendent of the Ferguson-Florissant School District, spoke out in favor of school choice and was later dismissed. To talk about it, she's been working on it with STLTODAY.com. Elisa Crouch. Elisa, thanks for joining us here on the Big 550 KTRS.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Take us from the beginning. They're sort of insinuating that he was let go because of his opinions, correct?
Well, it's kind of hard to know when they first of all, he hasn't been totally let go. He's on administrative leave right now. And when the board placed him on administrative leave, they said it was for philosophical differences. So best we can tell, perhaps it is because of the transfer, perhaps it is because of what he said about school choice, but honestly, we don't really know right now.
All right. What did he say about school choice that raised people's eyebrows?
You know, he's come out many times talking about things that the school choice, for lack of a better term, community advocates, rating schools with an A through F system, allowing students, just kind of breaking down the school district boundaries, allowing students to attend school where they would like to. And those aren't really popular decisions or popular stances with superintendents or school boards.
Right. So he made these, in your article in STLToday.com, he made these, what was he at, some type of school forum where he stood up and said that?
He said it a number of times. He said it several times before legislative committees. That one particular instance we were talking about, it was at a listening session that state legislators were hearing across the state regarding the school transfer situation.
And tell us about this Art McCoy. Is he new there? Has he been there a while? Was he liked? Was he disliked before this?
He's very beloved. The students know him really well. You know, students came out and actually protested after the school board announced they were placing him on an administrative leave. He's regarded as kind of an up-and-comer. He's young. He became superintendent, I believe, at age 33. He's 36 now. And he's just sort of a rising star. I mean, you know, I've heard him speak a number of times, different places, and he really stands out. He's not afraid to, say things that are contrary to, the education establishment, if you want to call it that. And at the same time, you know, he's also, I don't know that teachers love him. He is hard on teachers. He holds them to a higher standard than I think other superintendents might.
Yeah. Go ahead, Kelly.
I know that many parents, you know, they're trying to just look for answers as to why this has happened to him. And I think a lot of parents maybe in the district are alluding to the fact because he is African American and the Ferguson-Florissant board has no African Americans. They have one Hispanic, but the rest are made of whites. And they think that maybe race could play into this. What do you think of that?
I think it's anyone's guess. You know, that is certainly one of the obvious things that stood out when the board made its decision, because it is a board made of 5 white members and 1 Hispanic member. And Art McCoy is the district's first African American superintendent. So, I mean, certainly that is, you know, a lot of people are speculating about that.
How long has he been there?
He's been there for about 3 years.
Right. I mean, he was black when they hired him, right?
Yeah,
yes, he was. Exactly.
All right,
that
fair
is
enough.
True.
Right.
So what happens now? Is he fighting? Is he talking? What is he going to do?
Well, he is going to actually hold a press conference today at 2 o'clock at Shalom Church in Berkeley. So for the first time, he is going to speak out. So we'll just have to see what he says.
Yeah. What about his job? How long is he suspended for?
Indefinitely.
Because they have someone who is kind of stepping in right now, right? They have an interim.
Right. They do have someone who's acting as superintendent right now.
Yeah. Can you fire someone for philosophical differences? Because
I suppose you can fire someone for any reason.
Yeah.
You would think, though, when they interviewed him that, you know, because feels pretty strongly about this, from what I understand, that maybe during the interview something like that would have come up.
Yeah.
Of course, it was a different board, so there's been a lot of turnover on the school board since Art McCoy was hired.
Yeah. You said the kids love him. What about the parents? Have the parents come out one way or the other?
Yeah. Parents love him too. You know, just a couple weeks ago, there was a meeting at McClure at one of the high schools, and 1,500 people came out and spoke. You know, pretty much came out in opposition.
Right. So it's a situation where he's saying things that go against the traditional school board, school choice, and more accountability for teachers, and let the kids transfer out of failing school districts, and that doesn't sit well with the public school world. And all of a sudden, now he's created enemies. But it seems to be popular with the people who are actually affected by these policies.
Well, I think what he's saying might be popular, and just the way that he just who he is. Art McCoy himself is he's very dynamic. He's very charismatic. People love him.
Yeah.
The other part here too is there's some speculation that there may have been a vendetta among or between or from the school board president, Paul Morris. He was a teacher at one of the high schools and resigned. There was an impending investigation right before his resignation, and so some people think that he has an axe to grind.
There's some questions also about enrollment figures, correct?
Right. So that was probably the most recent development in this. The State Department of Education looked into some enrollment, not really enrollment, but attendance irregularities. Someone had, in 2012, they found that someone had gone into the reporting system and altered the number of hours that students had attended school for the 2011-2012 school year. So what that does, that when you increase the number of hours that students are in class, you increase the amount of money you get from the state. And number two, that also makes the school district look better when it comes to accreditation. So what the state didn't say is who was responsible.
Plot thickens. 2 o'clock today, he's talking. That should be an interesting news conference, correct?
Certainly.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. St. Louis Post-Dispatch reporter Elisa Crouch, who is on this story. Elisa, thanks for checking in. Great work as always, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Great talking to you. Thanks so much.
You got it. 826.
Bye-bye.
You got it. 826 here on the Big 550 KTRS. This Art McCoy he sounds like he's a St. Louisan. He's been a school teacher since.
Yeah, and I think he was the youngest at age 19.
Right, so he's dedicated his life to education,
Right.
and he has the audacity to ask certain questions about school choice and transferring students and getting bad teachers out of the classroom, things that some on school boards don't like to hear about.
Yeah, it'd be interesting what he has to say.
Oh, no,
today.
it'll be interesting to see what this guy's
yeah.
got to say. Yeah, stay tuned. 827 here, Big 550 KTRS.